Hi, everyone. We are so excited to see you all here. Today, we're going to have our professional services consultant, Bobby Morgan, lead the training, and we will be recording it and send you guys a link. So any questions, please feel free to add them to the chat, and we will make sure to address them. Thank you.
All right, so what we're looking at here is essentially the finished version of an Accelerate RepSpark site. This is what you are ultimately looking to build. You're looking to build a website that has a landing page just like this that we're seeing here, something that has the digital assets and interactive selling tools that we provide. From here, you're looking to build a landing page that you can share and link to your PGA booth, because the way that the visitors and attendees at the PGA show are going to come to your RepSpark site is through the PGA booth. So when they click on your booth, they will find this area where you have linked 3 sections of your RepSpark website, and those sections would be a landing page, a catalog, and an assortment. So once those are created, you'll just connect them to your booth, and then bam, we have people coming over here, clicking around and looking at your products. In this example here, I have a link to a catalog. So here's a demo catalog that I've set up, which is something you will also be setting up. And then I also have a link to an assortment, which is just a handful of products that are pre-selected. To get to that point where you have assortments and catalogs and landing pages, you first have to have data in your website. So there's 2 sources of data. You're either a Shopify user, Shopify data source, or if you don't have a Shopify website, then you'll have to do it using our Excel method, which is where you create a sheet for product data, a sheet for customer data, and a sheet for product inventory amounts. Once that data is uploaded, you also have to have your product images uploaded as well. But once that data is uploaded, you'll end up with this essentially, which is a section of inventory, the images, the product descriptions data, your wholesale pricing, and so on. And once you have data in your site, you can then build the assortments and catalogs using that data. And all of these products are interactive to the point where if a user is a customer of yours, an approved customer, they can move all the way through the process to submit an order. Now within the scope of the PGA show, we may be looking more at converting visitors into customers than placing orders, but that's not to say that we can't have customers that already exist who would then place an order based on whatever spring or fall product line you might be demoing or presenting at the show. So there's a chance to have some e-commerce, some transactions come out of this, but I think a big part of the attractiveness right now is to use these digital marketing or these digital tools rather to market to potential customers, to expand your brand's exposure, convert some of those into customers and guests. Ultimately, it shouldn't take too long to set up your RepSpark website within the confines of how it's going to be used for the PGA show. The platform itself does support a more expansive setup, and you'll have 2 months of access to RepSpark as part of your PGA package. So it's not like you just have to build it once and that's it. You can continue to expand on it as you add more products or build additional catalogs that your existing customers will ultimately be able to use. But at the PGA show, we're trying to, again, get more customers to interact with your landing page, your catalogs, and your assortments as a way to entice them to become customers. Okay, so let's take some questions right now just about the intro in case there's any confusion or any questions about the purpose of Accelerate within the the PGA virtual trade show. So feel free to unmute yourselves and ask questions.
Yeah, this is Eric from Robert Graham. If it's a new customer that's never been familiar with the brand or wants to order, they're clicking on this. If they check out, they're gonna have to fill everything out of address, ship to, everything else, or will that bounce to our site for them to fill out our forms and our credit sheets?
The short answer is they cannot interact and complete transactions until they become a customer in your system, until you've approved them, basically verified that you want to have them as a customer, right? So I'm kind of skipping around a little bit, but I might as well show this since you asked that question. Visitors at the PGA show, this is what they'll see when they go to your booth and then click on your 3 links that you've embedded in your PGA booth. They'll be brought to this home page, and actually I need to log out so that you can truly see how it looks. They'll see it this way, where they can look around, but there's a button here that says request access. So this basically is them asking to be able to go in and look at your products. So that's why it's important to develop a nicely designed landing page as a way to entice them to look around. So they can go in and they can take a peek at your catalog, a public facing catalog that you might have created, but they can't really do much in terms of interacting with it, because it's saying the next steps are going to be to request access. So that request access will go to your site admin, and from there it's just a quick approval process saying yes, we'll let you have a look around. And then from there there'll be some additional features enabled, and then if they decide they like your brand and want to work with you, that's when they request to become a customer. And that'll be taken offline, however long that process takes to get them an active customer code. And then again, it's a simple process to convert them from a guest user to an actual full-fledged customer. And once they're a full-fledged customer, they can see more of the website, where they can actually go into the product section and look at the entire catalog and see things that way, not just the selected content that we have presented them. So that's the ultimate goal, is to turn them from just someone who's window shopping to someone who wants to buy. Did I address that question enough? I know I get a little long-winded sometimes, Eric.
No, that's good. Yep, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else, or I'm going to jump back in to the presentation. I just figured I'd stop right there for some questions since we had some late attendees pop in.
Hey, Bobby, this is Rick from Moonshine. I have a question.
Sure,
do you
Rick.
happen to know where the link to the RepSpark or Accelerate page is going to be going on the booth? I didn't see a placement. I know that's I'm not sure if that's within your.
No, it is. I wonder if I can just share this with everyone. I have a video right here. Actually, I don't. I'll just play it real quick. This is a video that was shared recently. Let's see if I can mute myself. This is like movie time in class. I'm going to show you real quick just where it's going to go in the booth, just to skip ahead here in the video. So within your trade show booth, there is a section under the edit profile, and you'll click on video up here at the top. And then there's a section here called additional video. So additional video is where you're going to link these 3 embed codes that will be generated once you create an assortment or a catalog. So once you have dropped it in, this is how it will look on the front of your booth. And I can send you guys this video afterwards just so you can look through it and see it all together. So you can add up to 3 of these, and they can be different. In this example, they're all the same, but in this case, you can have one for an assortment, one for a catalog, and one that takes you to the branded landing page.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And
Yep.
within that video, we'll see where to grab those embed codes.
Within the video, it does show that, and I'll also touch on that here if I have, actually, I'll just do it right now, what the heck. After you have generated an assortment or a catalog in the admin of the site, you can go to that, and then just at the top, there's a link here that says embed code. It's just that simple. You just grab it, you copy it, you paste it back into your PGA booth.
Cool, simple enough. Cool, thank you.
And then you can change the actual thumbnail image that shows as well. Otherwise, it'll take what's there. So just a little bit of playing with it, and you'll get it exactly how you want it. But linking the two things is the easy part. The trickier part is getting all the data set up and reaching this point. That's why I decided to kind of start from the end, if you will, to show you guys what our goal is here. Because if you don't have an endpoint in sight, it might seem like you're doing a lot of data work that is a lot, and not knowing where you're going. So hopefully that clarifies the goal for everyone, to connect RepSpark to your booth, and then the ultimate goal is to get them coming from your booth to RepSpark to interact and transact. All right, so how many people here are Shopify? Wonder if is there a way to like raise your hand in this? In that case, I'm going to switch over and show the Excel method, because I assume that means everyone who isn't Shopify will be using the Excel data method. So when you first log in and first create your site, you're obviously not going to have all these other things that I have set up. All you're going to have across the top is the navigation, and then you'll have a blank product section. So the first thing you want to do is go to your admin dashboard. So I know you've received a document that covers the overview of this, but I'm still going to just touch on this so that we have we've covered it together. The admin dashboard is where you will do all of your site configuration, other than building catalogs and assortments. Here's where you will manage your data connection in the Connect Data section. This is where you will add your product images. One thing to note, if you are using Shopify, you do not need to add images into the image manager. We will pull them directly from Shopify with your data. But if you're doing the Excel method, then you will need to supply your own images and upload them in the preferred format. Again, I'll cover that as we go through it. Oh, come on, there it goes. The brand section of the admin is where you can add some of the basic aesthetic elements to your site. We have the area to upload your logo. Just simply click upload new, or you can drag and drop it in if you haven't loaded anything yet. Login page background, you saw that on the other section. This is where anyone who comes to your site for the first time, this is the background image they would see. You can change this out whenever you want, but think of this as a full screen image. And there's also a document you should have received that has the image requirements as well for your site. So as far as what you need to use for these background images versus cover images and so on. Cover images you can upload here. These are the ones that go onto your assortments. So as we saw in this other section here, all of my assortments, I've added different cover pages to. See, like this is one that doesn't have one. It just looks kind of boring without a proper image. And if you're going to be linking these to your booth, you want to have a cover image so it looks enticing. And then the background for the thank you page, this is for when someone completes an order. This is the background image for that page. And then down here at the bottom, this is where you go in to set up your branded landing page. We'll come back to this as well, but just know that this is where the editor is for your branded landing page, okay? Site configuration. Most of this is pretty self-explanatory. I would encourage you just to kind of go through this and look at it on your own, but you can set different rules for your business, such as what shows on the review page, the permissions header, like what's required when starting an order. For the product section, this one is probably the most useful. You can decide what view shows based on a different user role. So like customers, for example, we want them to see the grid view, but maybe we have our salespeople look at the products in a list view. And what I mean by that is in the product section here, this is our grid view, and this is our list view. It's just that simple. The list view has some advantages as a sales user because you can quickly go through and enter in the whole size run and add it to the cart all at once. From the grid view, there's an extra step involved, but the grid view offers larger imagery for the users to shop. All right. You can set up notifications. You'll want to set the account manager email address for your site. This should be set based on the initial email that you signed up with. I would encourage you just to check in this section to make sure that it is the initial email so that you're getting the notifications that come through your site. Manage users. This is where all of the users that have access to or have requested access to your website will be housed. There's 3 tabs across the top. Members are for people who are non-guests. These are for people who are your sales reps, your marketing people, your admins, and so on. These are people who have access to the site more so than just the trade show attendees, essentially. Think of guest as trade show attendee. Guests are people who have requested access to your site and that you have approved. Guests, they can click around and have a couple more features that they have access to, but they can't see the full website. They can't create their own orders going through the whole product cycle. If you want to convert a guest to a customer, you'll go in here and you'll change their role to customer, and then you'll have to give them a profile. So the profile comes from your actual customer, wherever you manage your customer data external to RepSpark, because we need to have a customer code to associate this person with. And this comes from uploading the customer data sheet, or it comes from the Shopify customer list. Okay, a couple more tabs here, and then we'll take some questions about the admin dashboard. Order types and filters. There's only one order type right now within Accelerate, so nothing to manage there. The filter manager, filters are the values that show up on the left-hand side of the product page. This is more for internal use at this point because, again, only salespeople are going to see this full setup here. But you can decide what order you want these to be in. You could put product category at the top, or you could change the label of this and just call it category, for example. This is really just a customization on how these things look. So I could just call this category instead, and that's what would show. You can also set some default values, and you can hide the key codes that show in here. Looks like I've already done that. And then the last thing in the admin here is just the section with your account details, and that just shows the email address that you signed up with. So, any questions, guys, about the admin dashboard?
Hey, Bobby, this is Rick again. I have a question on that under the configure site, that minimum shipping. Can you just explain the use of that? Like, what's the purpose?
Minimum shipping. Set the minimum shipping dates. I believe, and I'm not 100% sure, I think this has to do with how far out an order is set when you create it. So like if I create one today, it might set the ship date as 15 days from now, for example. But you can just disable that if that doesn't matter. And you can always change the dates when you create an order as well. So this is just kind of a default setting that exists. So it's one of those things I would just play with it and see what happens. I don't have the specific answer for this, but I suspect that's what it is. And it's something that you can just disable.
Okay. So if we're like pre-booking orders or whatever, and
exactly,
gonna ship for 45 days, we can put that in there.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Great. All right. So let's go back here to the admin and let's take a look at actually configuring the product data. So again, this website is built out with a little bit of data, but I'm going to go through and show you the process of how I got here. And we're going to go down a little bit of an Excel rabbit hole here just because it's what's required. So first and foremost, let's talk about product images. The format for your product images, if you're doing the Excel method, needs to be set as product number underscore color code or underscore color. And I'll show you how this corresponds in the data sheet here in just 1 second. But if you look at all of these photos, you can see that, like this one, for example, is W341 underscore aqua. W341, where's that? It should be another one. Underscore shark space gray. So essentially, our system knows to look for an image that is based on a concatenation of 2 fields in your Excel data. So you can come in here and you would choose just these 2 options, product number and color code, and then press save as your source of image data rather. Okay. Within the admin dashboard, we have a section here for the data connection. And from there, if you haven't already, you can download the 3 templates needed to fill this out. So you can download a blank customer template, a blank product template, and a blank inventory template. Now, I would encourage to actually wait on the inventory one because there's a nice little feature that after you've added in your products, you can download it with the existing data and it'll populate all that for you. So it'll save you, we shouldn't even have the blank one, to be honest. Just download the existing one once you're done with your products. And I'll go through that as well. So I've always found it easiest to start with the products because it's just the most common sense way to go about it. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to start with products data sheet. So I'm going to open this up. We're going to take a look at it together. This is the sheet that I'm going to upload. I did it here on a second sheet just for illustration purposes. Can everybody see this? I'm going to make sure this isn't too small. Okay. So what we have here are 3 products. The products themselves have a couple variations in colors. This is a belt that has 4 colors. It's in the spring season. It's in the accessories category. One thing you'll notice about this product is it shares all the exact same information in every column except for the color. So when you're building out your product data sheet, it's important to do all of your products together at the same time, as well as doing all of your categories together at the same time if you can. So there's a little bit of pre-planning that goes into this that I tell everyone. Know what products you're going to be using, what categories, and then what colors. Because what you want to avoid is having a category like polos and then another product that's called just polo, and then you end up with a duplicate in your site. So you want to just be consistent with values in your columns. But when you're creating a product, what you can do is, let's assume this isn't here, you can go in and once you've created row number 1, so product number, name, color, gender, season, category, you can put in a long description if you want, and you have your wholesale and retail prices. You only need to have at least 1 size, or at minimum 1 size, but you can put more in. So just fill these out left to right. Any sizes that you don't have, you just leave all those columns blank. But what you can do is once you know that you've set up 1 product, you can just copy it. If this one has 4 variations, just copy it 4 times and then go in here and change out the colors. So that's the simplest way. So here's my colors right here. So just like that, I've created 1 product. So I move on to my next belt, and then my 3rd belt, my 4th belt. And once I'm done with those, then I move over here and I do my polos, and then I do my shorts. Again, utilizing copy and paste will be a lifesaver with this process. And really you'll get into a rhythm once you start doing it. But it's all about filling out that first row of data and then copying it over and changing the color. Now, some of these shirts, for example, may have different sizes. This one golf shirt that comes in black may also come in 3X. So all you have to do is just make a note of that for that specific shirt and add that size, and that shirt will show on the front end as 3X, where the other ones will not have that option available. If there's any reason to change certain prices, then you can do that, but from my experience, all the products within the same product number tend to have exactly the same data other than the color. So once you're done with that, all you do is save your sheet. Go ahead and press save, and then we will close this out. All you have to do is take the products and drop them in just like this. You just drag and drop it right into, into the product section, not the customer section. And then it'll run through, it'll give you an upload successful message. If something's wrong with your data sheet, if you've forgotten to put in a product number, if you have a duplicate row, if you have a column name or something that you've changed, then it'll let you know. It'll be a big red box here that'll tell you what the error message is. There's a list of what the possible error scenarios are in the documentation, but basically just don't change anything about the format. Just put your data in the cells. So now that I've added in the products, I can go in here and look at the front, and then I can see which items have been added. Now you'll notice that I'm missing some photos for certain ones. What that means then is that I haven't added them to my image manager. So I'm just gonna fix one for right now because uploading images can take a little bit longer if you're doing a big batch. So I'm just gonna grab this one blue mist product that I'm missing. So here it is, the belt in blue mist. That's the one that I need. So all I have to do is grab my blue mist belt, drop it in like so. And because it has the proper naming convention on the front end, come on. Sometimes it can take up to 30 seconds before it connects, just because of our server side. Well, we'll check back on that in a minute. Make sure that it's saved in here. There it goes. All right. I can breathe a sigh of relief. So it does work. Sometimes it just takes a little longer because of image compression and rendering that we do on our server side. But if the format is the same as expected, which would be, again, we want to make sure that we have all the images will be formatted as column A underscore column C. So in this example, BLT 2050 underscore blue space mist. That'll be your file name for this specific item. And then the same thing for evergreen, sunbright, and white navy. Any questions so far about the product sheet? Alrighty then, moving back to the admin dashboard. Now that we have our products added, we can go back here, and as I mentioned, we can download our Excel template with the inventory now. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then when I open it, it's gonna give me all of my product numbers. Zoom in here, and we'll go ahead and freeze the top row. So again, these are all the products with the size codes attached to them. And then from here, you can go in. All you have to edit in this sheet is the quantity in column G. Everything else is just data that already exists. We have the product number, the color, and the size. So if you have, here we'll just scroll down here to this belt here as an example. So looking at this product, let's say on hand you have 15 of these, 20 of these, 5, 3, 15, 12, etc. You can go through and you can put these in. Now, one thing you'll notice is I have inventory that's old, and then this would be a future date. It's actually in the past now, but I did have it set up as a future date. All you have to do is update these values, save your sheet, and then turn around and drop it right back into the inventory section, and then those units will populate within your product. So for example, this item has 25 units on hand, but none of them for size 34. So it's the only one you can't order. So again, the inventory is best done after the products are set up. That way you can get, you can take advantage of that sheet. Okay. Now over to the customer data sheet. Again, download the blank one. If you're just entering customers for the first time, you'll want to download the blank one. If you're adding to an existing group of customers, let's say you uploaded 20 of them before, and then now you have a couple more that you need to add to the site, download the existing group and then add to that group. Okay, so here's what a customer sheet would look like when it's filled out. So the ones that I've highlighted are the ones that are absolutely essential, the customer code and the customer name. But really all of this is vital because you need to know where you're shipping it to and what their payment terms are and things like that. So I encourage you to fill out as much of this form as you can. Obviously, you could probably leave the fax number blank. That's kind of a antiquated column there. But so customer code, this will be the code that exists in your ERP or whatever system you use to keep track of customers. They should all be unique, obviously. So customer code ABC, that's the Alpha company. Here's their address, and so on. Each customer should have an associated salesperson code and salesperson name. If they don't, then the customer will be visible to all of the salespeople, or it'll be essentially assigned to the house account. So when you're building out your sheet, it's okay to have customers without salespeople, but ideally you want to have them tied together. So when Bob creates his salesperson account, he'll be able to log in and see only his customers. He'll see the ABC company. When Ann logs in, she'll see the Enigma company as her company, or customer rather, and any others that have been assigned to her. We have our shipping method, our payment terms, discount percentage doesn't apply, we'll leave that at 0. Once this is ready, same thing, just save it, and then turn around and drop it right into the customer section. So now that we have products, we have inventory, and we have customers, we can go in here and we actually have a fully functioning B2B site. If I go to start an order, for example, I can click on a customer, and I'm logged in as an admin, so I can see all of them. But if I were logged in as a salesperson, I would only be able to see the companies that I sell to. So here we've added Alpha Company, and we're going to save their order. You can see the information that's been generated. They use FedEx. They have net 30 terms. We have the start date. We have the cancel date. All of that is set up. So from here, this is where we can begin adding orders to the cart and then ultimately complete that order, either working along. As a salesperson, I would be inputting an order on behalf of a customer or working alongside them to do this. If I were a customer only, I would only be able to just come in and create an order. I wouldn't have to choose my own self. It would already be known what my customer code is. So taking a step back, now that we have all of our data in here, this is the point that we hope everyone can get to maybe by the end of this week or early next week, where you've uploaded your product data, you've got your images in there, you have got your inventory, and you have some salesperson codes and customer codes entered. Once you have that, again, you have the baseline for a RepSpark site. How's everyone feeling so far? Is there anyone who is stuck in the data upload process to this point? Anyone who has questions or is confused about any of it? I'd really like to use this as a forum to address those questions. So please, again, unmute yourself, ask now, and I'm happy to discuss those. All right, so we talked about data. All right, so now that we have our data entered, we can go in and we can start to create assortments and catalogs that we want to use for the trade show. Let's see.
Hey, Bobby, I do have a question with the file upload. Obviously, I'm using Shopify, and I don't know if this is the appropriate time to get into it, but product descriptions aren't making its way over, so I don't know how that maps from Shopify over to RepSpark, but none of my product descriptions are in there.
Okay, we could take a look at that one offline, Rick. Just send me a quick email reminder, and I'll check into that for you.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Yep. Has there been anyone else who's had a question? I know we might have had an issue there with the muting not being able to be turned off. Ryan, Joel, Matt, anyone?
Good so far on my end.
Okay, great. Let's get into the more exciting part of using RepSpark as a platform. Now we have our baseline of product data. We have images, we have customers, we have inventories. Now we can create some of our digital assets to help entice our buyers to join and interact with us. So the first thing you can do is you can create an assortment. The way you add items to an assortment is essentially a wish list, and you can create multiple assortments and divvy up the items any way that you want. To add to the assortment, you simply click the star here, and right now I have an outerwear collection assortment that I created, but you can create new assortments, or you can work from the existing assortments by clicking this drop down over here. So I have 4 of them created. I have an outerwear, men's assortment, women's collection. Let's go ahead and just create a new one called we just click the plus right here. We'll call it the trade show assortment. And then if I check this box here, this now becomes my default. There it shows at the top. Default assortment is trade show assortment. So now any items that I add will be added specifically to that assortment. So we'll put in 3 belts, a couple pairs of shorts, and we'll do a couple shirts. All right, so now that I have added these items to my assortment, I can go back to the assortment section here. I'm still, okay. And then again, on the left-hand side, we have my assortments and shared assortments. My assortments are assortments that I myself have created. So anything that I create will always live in the my assortment section. If I share it or I make it public, it'll show up in the shared section for everybody else. And vice versa, if Susan or Rick were assortments, it would show under my assortments for them, but it would show under shared for anyone else. So first, it'll options. Option one is to go in here and set a cover page. You can use cover page anytime you can. These images are uploaded through the admin of the site in the admin dashboard, and then you can just simply choose an image that you want to have on the front of your assortment. Second thing you want to do is to set the permissions. Right now, I'm the only person who can see this because it's set as private. If I want others to be able to view it, simply set it to public and press save. If I want others to be able to edit it also, then you would set that to public as well. Typically, you can leave this set to private and then just allow people to look at it. So anyone else who logs into this tradeshow.repspark.net will now see this assortment in their shared section. Hopefully that's not too confusing. Now, I can go in here and I can view my assortment. These are the products that I have selected. If I'm with a customer, or if the customer had logged in and was looking at this assortment, they could click on this button and add all the items directly to the cart, or they could go through and remove a couple of them and then add to the cart. So right now, let's say I'm building my assortment. I realize I don't need the tan in this color run, so I'm just going to keep it with these lighter pastel colors. So you can remove items by clicking the X, and then you can add items to the cart. Again, for the trade show purposes, this is where the embed code will live. So when your assortment is ready and you're ready to link it to your booth, simply click on the embed code, copy the embed code, and then paste it into your booth in that admin, I think it's edit profile, videos section. So we'll do the same thing for a catalog and the same thing for a landing page. So now that I've created an assortment, it's worth pointing out that to build a catalog, you first have to. Assortments are essentially the stepping stones or the building blocks for a catalog. So there's two ways to convert an assortment to a catalog. You can go up here to My Creations and do Create New Catalog, or, or from the section of assortments, you can just click the three little dots here and you can create a catalog from there. So both of these will take you to the same place. It pulls up this little editor here, which is essentially a catalog creation wizard. All of these options you'll have the ability to change once you get into the edit process anyways, but this is just basically allowing you to pick your preferences at the beginning. So we're going to call this one Trade Show Catalog. So I'm just updating the name. You can put header text, which will show at the top of every page in the catalog, our 2021 new styles. And then it has fonts for your H1s, H2, and your body text essentially within the document. If you have fonts that you use for your business, hopefully you can find them in here. If not, then you can just stick with whatever matches the best. We start with Helvetica, and that's in there by default, but you can change all these. You can set up your catalog to be in portrait or landscape mode. It seems like most people do it in portrait, but I've seen some pretty cool ones in landscape as well. It all comes down to what assets you have available from a marketing standpoint, which will be essential in making a really eye-catching catalog. You can include page numbers, your logo, and footer text on each page. I feel like most people don't do the footer text. Click next. Always, always, always have a cover page. I don't know why we have the ability to even disable it, but a cover page, again, is essential. Just like adding a cover page to the assortments, you'll want to do that. There's three different options. Again, the full image is probably the best because it's just like, you know, flipping open or looking at a magazine. You know, you want a nice eye-catching cover image. Okay, press continue. So there's a quick way to do a catalog, and then there's a more manual way. If you're doing a quick way, go ahead and select one of these product layouts. And then let's just say we're doing a 3x3 grid. And then down here at the bottom, it's saying images auto-populate into a layout. So it'll basically create X number of pages in your catalog, all using this same design until the products from your assortment have all been added in. But they'll all have the same a number of products per pages. It can get a bit monotonous. So I usually like to do the manually add to a blank layout and do it myself. But for this example, I'll just go ahead and do them together. Now, all these checkboxes here are set up by default. This is the information that will show along with the products. So if you intend to build a catalog with no pricing, then just remove the retail and wholesale checkboxes. Inventory options, you can only show what's on hand, or if you have some future whips, you can include that in there as well. Most people also remove the long description if there's a bunch of text in there. You don't want your too many words to take away from the visuals of a catalog. So you can show the category, inventory sizes, product codes, product number. Let's go with that. And you can always, again, you can always change these in the next section. The last thing it's asking here is how you want to group the products. The most obvious one is to use product category. You probably want to keep your shirts with your shirts, your pants with your pants, etc. Otherwise, it'll alphabetize it by name or number. So let's just stick with product category. So pressing create, it's now going to go through and generate this catalog. So now we are into the catalog editing process. Up here in the top right are some options. The most important one to note at first is the save feature. There's an auto save that's on, so anytime you're working, it'll periodically just continue to save. It's still advisable to click the save after you've made a couple of important updates and changes. Anyone who's ever lost an Excel or Word file will understand that pain. So just make sure you save from time to time as well. All right, I'll come back to the rest of this stuff. We want to go ahead and add our cover image. So you can drag or drop it from your desktop, or you can use the product tray down here, which links to a couple areas of RepSpark. So we have our products. These are the products that were in our assortment. Uploaded would be things that you add in here that were not part of the assortment images. Emblems we actually aren't using for this, so you can just kind of ignore that right now. That's a little more of an advanced feature that we can cover if you decide you want to keep RepSpark after the 60-day period. Marketing, these would be images that have been added in from into your marketing tab by someone on your admin team. And then showroom would be where you could embed a video. So right now I don't have anything in the marketing tab, and so I'm just going to go ahead and drag this from my desktop. So I just click on this box here. There we go. And let's go ahead and go to my desktop. Where is it? Trade show. Oh, there it is, trade show. And then we have catalogs and covers. So let's go ahead and drop this guy in, this lifestyle image. So this is now the background image for my cover page on my site. Now you'll see that there's this headline area. It's kind of covering it. You can set colors for the text to overlap. I usually just get rid of these and rely on the image that I've chosen to carry the weight of this section. You can have the logo stay there if you want. You can update and add a different logo. Again, this is something that, or you can just hide it if the image you choose already has your logo in it, for example, you wouldn't need it there here on this page as well. So these are all options. Down here or on the left side here, these are all the same options we chose in the previous section. So again, you can just keep playing with this as you go. Down below, you'll see we have the product data neatly inserted into the grid here. Let's see, so we only had 10 products, so this one is kind of left over on its own page. To make this catalog have a little bit more depth, we might have taken these 10 products and used a bigger layout for them. So let's go ahead and do that. I don't like this page, it's got too many products. I'm gonna go ahead and just delete it. When I delete it, what that does is it puts all the products back into my tray here. There's a button here that says hide used. So this will remove any products that have not yet been added into the catalog. So let's take a look. So as I drop these in, they actually disappear from the list. They're not actually gone, it's just helping me know which items I've already added so that I don't duplicate products within the catalog. We can add a new page here and select a product layout. And this is where, again, where we can choose a different layout so that we add some variety to the look here. So there we go. So this page looks different than this page. So it's a nice way to feature some products more heavily and then others that might be the same product with different colors in smaller tiles next to it. Within each page, there's some options at the bottom for the display fonts where you can add specific data to certain pages only. Like maybe we wanted to have the long description show for these products on this page, but not all the others. You could do that there. Another thing we can do here is we can add a feature page. So a feature page is basically a lifestyle image, someone modeling your products. I'm gonna go ahead and choose the full screen one here again. And then let's see. Oops. So I'll go ahead and drop in an image here. Okay, so I've dropped in a lifestyle image for this. Now what's nice about this is you can click this little tag icon up here and you can tag the products within that lifestyle image to make them shoppable. So let's say this is one of our products, this sweater right here. I don't remember what this is called. Oh, let's just search and see what comes up. Well, for now, I'm just gonna search here and add in a product number that I know. But let's assume that that was a shirt that I linked it to or a fleece that I linked it to. So this tag will be shoppable and you can tag all kinds of things in the photo. If someone's wearing a top, a bottom, some shoes, some socks, all that can be tagged. So when someone's interacting with the catalog, they'll see these tags and can click on them for that purpose. So this is just a quick example of a catalog. I'm gonna go ahead and do save one last time here. You can always come back and edit a catalog and improve upon it. So if I click this digital catalog button here, I can see the public facing view of this. First things first, let's go ahead and set the permissions. We want to make sure this is public so that everyone can see it, not just us. And then the edit functions will keep as private so that no one else can change what we've built. You can share this. Should be able to share it. There we go. You can share this via email. So I'm just gonna send this to myself real quick. Okay. So this is what it looks like. So this is a great way to invite people to come become customers or activate their customer accounts. So your existing customers, this is a great way to get them to engage and use the platform. They can download what you've just sent them. They can view the digital catalog. If they already have an account, they can just go right in. Otherwise, it'll ask them or give them the link where they can sign up. So again, it's a great way to increase that engagement. Okay, so there's my email, and this is what it looks like over here. So this is the email that I just received from this website. So it's a very useful tool. And again, I can go straight there, or I can sign up if I've never been a RepSpark user. So let's take a look at the digital catalog from the end user perspective. So here's what the catalog will look like for those who are viewing it. Here's your cover page, and you can click through. You have your product page and then your feature page. And as I mentioned, there's a tag there, so I can interact with the item that's tagged and add it to my cart, choose some sizes, and then flip through and look at other products. I can use the stars to add to favorites. Again, all of this pops out. I can see the other colorways that are associated with it. And from there, I can move forward in the order process if I'm a customer. If I'm a guest, then the end of my line will be contacting the rep to become a customer. So the only other feature I didn't cover today was the showroom, but essentially the showroom is where you can add videos. Let me go back in here and see if I can show you real quick. down here in our tray, we have the showroom area. You can just click on this video area and you can add a link for a YouTube video, or you can upload from Google Drive or Dropbox. Add to showroom. And what's nice is you can actually create a page of products that are tied to what's in the showroom video. So I'll just do this at the end. Add a new page, product page, whatever, we'll choose that layout. But if you click this video up here, you can assign this video, didn't mean to do that. Assign this video to this page. So now there's a video tied to all the product tiles that I might add here. One last thing to cover with the products themselves. These images here, these products here are the ones that were included in our assortment. If we realize that there's some products that we forgot, like maybe we wanted to add, you know, some hats or something to this and add them to the catalog, you don't have to go back and add them to the assortment and then start the process over. You can simply click this little guy right here, and then you can start searching for more products that you forgot to add, and then you can just add them right into your tray here. So you just simply click on them and then add selected products. So now these products are in your tray, and now you can start dropping them in this way. Now, of course, you'll want to clean up probably the text here or maybe the layout so that these things display more organized, but this is just a quick way to show you how you can add more items to your catalog without having to start the process over. So let me save this, and then I'll show you what the showroom looks like. And I know we're a little bit over time here, so I'm going to stop after this, save the rest of my stuff for the next webinar, and field some questions at the end. So let me just real quick show you the showroom here. So we have a virtual showroom here, and you can set up multiple of these. What it's doing right now is it's pulling up the video and the associated products that go with that video. So let's just give that a second here. You know, you really can get creative with these, and I'm sure there'll be some more questions once people start to work through those. So yeah, so we're at the end here, guys. Anyone have any questions, anything to discuss from today's call that you're unclear about, you're excited about, you're fearful about? Just let me know. We're here to help and to get you the info you need.
All good here. Thank you very much, Bobby.
Okay, great. We'll look forward to having you guys on the next session if needed. Of course, you can always send questions over to success@repspark.com as well, and we'll answer those questions and help you out. Okay, well, if there are no other questions, then thank you guys for your time, and we'll talk to you again soon.